Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 Pilot stream. It is 2100 hours local time, 1800 Zulu time for our live stream this Tuesday evening. I want to welcome all of you guys. Steve Jones, welcome. Brand Cooley, my dear friend. James, hello, James. Strashal, William, and Steve. Hello, guys. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us today. I am very excited today to show you Denver International version 2. I think this is kind of a step up in scenery development for X-Plane, and it just goes to show that there are a lot of things that still can be done, and we can still innovate within the X-Plane world in terms of graphics and scenery. So today our flight is going to be a short hop from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Denver International in the state of Colorado in the US of A. We have both airports today are payware airports. This one here, Albuquerque, is by Mr. X. It is unfortunately still not compatible with X-Plane 12 fully, so you will not see the wet runways, but we're in for a treat when we arrive into Denver International. Hello there with us today, John Loose Parts. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Yeah, long time. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it very much. Roberto, welcome aboard. Scott, hello, Scott. Nikki, hey, how's it going, my friend? Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. All right, so a brief of our flight plan today. We are going to be departing Albuquerque at runway 0A through the GEMS 3 departure, and we're going to be arriving into Colorado, Denver International, runway 35 left through the Tabar 3 arrival. Our approximate flight time today is 55 minutes of airtime. Of course, it will take us to about 1 hour and 20 minutes, including startup, taxi, and all that good stuff. And we have with us today, ladies and gents, Ken. Hello, Ken. And Mika Morgan. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us during this live stream. All right, so the first thing we're going to do here is this scenery is really nice, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. If you recall, with the scenery developers, is that they need to create the mesh, the ground photoreal textures around the airport, and Mr. X is known for creating, very large, ortho photos for all his airports to accompany the actual airport scenery. So this, while it's not still fully compatible with X-Plane 12, this is one of the nicest airports created for X-Plane, Albuquerque International. All right, of course, today we are flying no other than the beautiful Zibo Boeing 737. This is the latest version of the aircraft, and look at just how cool this looks. I mean, from the visual perspective, this is actually looking pretty good. And this is, in my view, still the best freeware ever created for flight sim. The fidelity, the depth of system simulation, and even the flight model by account of real-world pilots. This is probably the best freeware and one of the best 737-800 available for flight simulation. All right. Enough talk. Let's get things started. Let's hop into the cockpit. There we go. It looks like it's raining here in Albuquerque, and that's going to make things interesting for our flight. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the load and balance, and for this, we're going to bring up SimToolkit Pro, and now we can beautifully click on this to see the beautiful flight plan within Navigraph. I just absolutely love this new feature, and I think it really does make Navigraph just a complete application. Now, do we have the... let me just go to the map real quick. Let's see here. All right, there we go. All right, now we have the little arrow, and now we have all the details showing here. All right, perfect. Now we can go back to the flight and view the operational flight plan. We're going to go down to the payload information right here. I hope you guys can see this clearly. And we're going to go to the ground services. We're going to connect the GPU, and we're going to head back to, let me make sure the config is set to pounds. So yeah, we need this in pounds. And the minimus, we can leave this on radio. That's fine. All right, perfect. Let's go to the fuel, weight, and balance, and we're going to go to the payload. The fuel required for our flight today is 13.4. So that's 13.4 and enter. And the actual is 7, so we're going to need to refuel. We'll call the fuel truck in a minute. And we're going to set the payload as well. So the payload for the flight is 38.5. So we're just going to click here on payload and say 38.5 and enter. And that will fill up all the... So the aircraft is full load today. We're going to fly with... yeah, all the seats are taken. All right. Perfect. Let's go back here and go to the fuel truck.
Flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
All right. So the fueling is underway now, and I believe this is simulated. If you go to the outside, you'll see the fuel truck here. Again, very nice animations, very nice graphics with the Zibo mod. The reason why we see 2 GPUs is more than likely the SAM plugin. So if we go to SAM main window, let me see here. So let's say disabled. All right, so we've disabled the ground power. We still have the one that ships with Zibo, so it doesn't work very well. And I've also installed the Follow Me add-on from SAM. So we have the Follow Me add-on because Denver International is a huge airport, and we will more than likely require some help to taxi to our position once we arrive. Hello there, Ethan. Welcome aboard. Is this me or the mic has a better sound than usual? Maybe you haven't been around for a while. I've been using this mic for a short while now. It is a brand new mic from Elgato. So it might be, yeah, it might sound better than usual because it's a new mic. Okay, so we have the refueling underway, and now we can start with the electrical power up here. So we're going to turn on the battery, and we're going to turn on the ground power unit as well. We're going to come down here real quick and do the fire test. All right, checks okay, and the cargo fire test as well. All right, perfect. So we've checked all the fire tests here, and now we can start the APU. But before we do so, let's just do a quick check here. So we're going to do top to bottom, left to right. Flight controls, spoilers, yaw damper, we can turn on a little later. Everything here looks good. We're going to turn the left aft fuel pump for the APU. And everything here looks good. The power battery looks okay. DC amps are good. Excellent. And we are still on standby power, or actually ground power unit. And everything here looks good. Excellent. We're moving up here. We're going to turn on the emergency lights. Non-smoking sign to auto. Fasten seatbelt. We'll leave it off for the time being as we are still refueling the aircraft. The window heat can go on. And the probe heat we can wait. Test. All right, checks okay. And we're going to turn on the hydraulics. This is not simulated, but here we can test the cockpit voice recorder and make sure it is okay. Everything here looks good to me. Voice recorder on auto. Trim air is on. Recirc fans are on auto. The left pack is on. Trip reset. And today we are going to be cruising at a final cruise altitude of 31,000 feet. So we're going to set the pressurization panel here to 31,000. HD Simulations, welcome aboard. Black Panda, welcome aboard, my friend. Hello, Fred.
Is all loaded up and you are good to go.
What traffic mod you're using? I'm using Traffic Global by JustFlight. All right. So now that the refueling is complete, we're going to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign on. And we are done with the overhead panel. We just need to perform a few tests in a minute here. So let me bring up the lights just a tad. because it looks like we are unable to see the numbers clearly. All right, that's better. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and start the APU and board the passengers. APU is now starting, and we can come here and go home and start the leg. All right, perfect. APU is now starting. Shadow Dark, good morning to you, my friend. It is good evening for me here in Kuwait City. Right, EGT rising. All right, so we can also perform the light test here. All looks good, excellent. All right, do we have, yeah, the APU is available. All right, APU bleed is on. We're going to turn off the engine bleeds, and we're going to go to the overhead panel here and test the Mach speed warning test 1 and 2. Let's test the flight recorder. Checks okay, excellent. And the stall warning test 1 and 2. Those normally take a little bit of time before they can be tested. We're going to set the ADDONS to nav mode and set the, there we go, 7 minutes until alignment. Brilliant. Okay. We are now good to start programming the FMC for our flight. And for this, we're going to come down here and I'll zoom in and we'll bring up Navigraph. Here's our flight plan. So we are departing Albuquerque, runway 08, GEMS 3 through the GEMS transition direct to Gondla, then the Bar 3 arrival into Denver International, runway 35 left. We'll check the weather in a minute. First, let's come here and do the position in it. And we are at Kilo Alpha Bravo, Quebec. And we're going to go to the next page, grab our GPS position. Set it here and then go to the route. The origin airport is Albuquerque and the arrival is Denver Kilo Delta Echo November. Flight number today is United 5842. Excellent. We're going to go to the departure page, and we're going to select runway 08 through the GEMS 3 departure out of Albuquerque. And next, we're going to go to the next page. You can see the transition out of our SID, and then we're going to fly direct to Gondla. All right, there we go. Gondla is set, fly direct, and then it's the arrival. So we're going to go back to departures, and we're going to select the arrival through the, let's see here, the Bar 3 arrival through the Gondla transition. And it is the ILS runway 35 right, is it? 35 left. ILS 35 left. All right, I believe it's the Ladora transition. We can check this either from the flight plan or from the charts. As you can see here, the Bar 3 is the transition. The Ladora transition is the one we're interested in for this flight. So we're going to select the Ladora transition. And that is selected. And then route, activate, and execute. Perfect. Next, we're going to go to the performance. So performance initialization. Gross weight is 146.9, and the planned fuel today is going to be 5707. So 5707, 5.7. Come on, 5.7. There we go. And the reserve fuel is 3 and 2 and 5. Cost index today is 7. And the final cruise altitude is 31,000 feet. 310. The cruise winds 27137. 27137. And the ESA deviation is 9. And that should populate everything. Transition altitude in the United States is 18,000 feet. So that's done. Execute. Perfect. N1 limit. We'll leave everything as it is. The active is this one here, and the climb is, so we'll leave it just exactly as it is. I don't think we need to... We can derate, I suppose, but that's okay. We'll just leave it the way it is. All right, so flaps 5 today for departure. The runway is wet, so it's better to not derate the takeoff with a contaminated runway. Captain USA, welcome aboard. Hello there, Joe. Showa. How are you doing, my friend? Glad to have you here. Aeronautical greetings from Brazil. Hello, my friend. Welcome from Brazil. Megabyte Gaming, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us this evening. All right, so center of gravity is 26.4. That gives us a 4.5 trim. V1 is 135, V rotate 137, and V2 is 144. Let's go ahead and set our speed here to 144 on the glare shield. And we're going to set the altitude to 31,000 feet. All right, 31,000 is set, and we're going to turn on the flight director on the first officer and captain's side. The anti-skid goes to rejected takeoff. Perfect. All right, so a few things we want to do here is we want to grab the altimeter. So let's go to Albuquerque, and we're going to go to the weather. The METAR is 210, 9 knot wind. Visibility is good. Few clouds at 1,300, overcast at 4,000. The current temperature is 18 Celsius, and the QNH is 3027. All right, 3027. 3027 is now set on the captain's side, and we're going to do the same thing on the first officer's side. 3027. Excellent. And let's go ahead and set the radio to the clearance delivery frequency here at Albuquerque International. So we're going to go to the comms. That's approach. That's the ATIS. Clearance delivery is 119.2. All right, so we'll set 119.2. Switch that to the active. All right, perfect. And what else do we need to do? All right, so we are pretty much good to go here. It says insufficient fuel. So the reason it says this is more than likely what we put here. So if we make the reserve maybe 2. There we go. Verify takeoff speeds. N1 limit takeoff. Let's verify those speeds. Okay, 144.
Good afternoon, Richard. 4706, plan to LaGuardia, please.
All right, so now we can hear the clearance delivery frequency here at Albuquerque. If the ATC chatter is too loud for you guys, please let me know. Ladies and gents, we have Carl Childers with us finally. You've been away for a while, my friend. How are you doing? I hope you are well. AJ for Nari, welcome aboard. Mike Coffee, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. All right, so everything here is set. Let's set our trim to 4.5 units. I love the stab trim wheel sounds. All right, that's done and dusted. Excellent. Okay, so everything is ready to go. The APU is running, and let's go ahead and turn on the anti-collision light. And let's just address the passengers.
Folks, welcome aboard our flight today. It's a pleasure to have you on board United Airlines. We're prepared to button the ship up and get on our way. Looking like an on-time departure for us today, and okay weather along the route. Just a quick reminder to please remain in your seats when that seatbelt sign is illuminated with those seatbelts comfortably fastened for your safety. We got 3 in the back with
Definitely, the Zibo sounds are top-notch, without a doubt. Saskia, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you very much for your support. Skymatics, welcome aboard. Check your perf page again. All right, we can do that for sure. Perf page, index, perf. All right, I think everything here looks good. Yeah, all's good here. All right. All right, so we go to the Lex page, FMC. We'll put this on climb. Have missed that, but I think there is a fuel error. We fixed the fuel error, so we're good now. All right, so we are ready to go. We can start the pushback now. So start, push, better pushback, and...
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, and we're going to start the push, and let's go ahead and switch to ground control. Departure ground control at Albuquerque is 121.9. 121.9. All right, there we go. Pushback truck in position. Can bring the yoke back. And ladies and gents, we have 10 gifted memberships from Scott. Scott, thank you so very much for your support there. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. That's very, very generous of you. Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate it. Really, really very generous of you. Guys, if you've received a gifted membership from Scott, please be sure to say thank you. I appreciate it very much, Scott. Thank you very much, sir.
Contact clearance delivery on 120.12.
Very, very generous of you, Scott. Really, truly appreciate it, sir.
Ground Skywest 269 is Charlie 20 Bravo with the back ready to taxi. Ground 369, runway 10 left. Taxi
Guillaume
Tango,
Fontes. Hello, my
Tow
friend.
connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Captain Guillaume, of course, needs no introduction on the Q8Pilot channel. He's an accomplished real-world pilot, and he's helped me in many streams take the Phenom and the King Air with real-world procedures. Welcome, Captain. Glad to have you here with us. All right, so we're going to release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And we're going to come here to the overhead panel. We're going to turn off the pack, and we can now start engine number 2. Ground. All right, I don't know what the pushback truck is doing. I hope it's doing the right thing. All right. And the engines are now spooling, as you can see, at 20% and 2. We will introduce fuel. Wycliffe Barrett, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Virtual Skycheck, welcome aboard, and thank you for your support. Hello, Curtis. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us. All right. We're turning there, and fuel is coming up for engine number 2. Just listen to those sounds. Lovely, lovely looking aircraft. Zibo has really done a lot, not just from the system perspective, but also from the 3D modeling perspective. Look at those engines.
Place over your nose and mouth. Slip the elastic band over your head and tighten the straps. The back may not inflate while oxygen is flowing. Make sure your mask is secure before helping others.
All right, we can start engine number 1 now. Ground. And for this, we can come here. We're going to do the pack on high. Isolation valve is closed. And we can turn the engine bleed for engine number 1. Okay, spooling. We're good. Engine number 1 is coming up.
Got 4050 Roger, call me 5 prior to push, so I get a flow time for you. Welcome.
Things that made me really love XP coming from P3D, the sounds from the Zibo are amazing. Better pushback is a game changer, and the replay function. Yeah, absolutely. All I need is a 777 and 747-400. For the 747-400, you have the Sparky, which is not bad. I still haven't streamed it, and I probably should do that very soon. As for the 777, the flight factor 777 still works in X-Plane 12. It's quite dated, but yeah, it still does work. All right, so we have a good start on both engines. Excellent. And now we can, by the way, we need the fuel pumps there. We can put the gens are on. Engine mode selectors to continuous. Now we can put the packs on auto, isolation valve on auto, engine bleed on, APU bleed off. The APU can go to the off position. We can turn on the probe heat. And everything now, yaw damper can go on as well. And everything else is in tip-top shape. Perfect.
Ground up 60. What's the ground?
I heard the Challenger is compatible with Smart Co-Pilot. Fancy trying? Absolutely, Captain. Yeah, let's do that. If you have...
Go ahead and set the parking brake.
So Smart Co-Pilot is... let me remember this one. Is where it's like the shared cockpit thing, or is it like a first officer, like an AI thing? I can't remember, Captain Guillaume. All right, so we'll set the parking brake. Parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, we're standing by.
Charlie, Foxtrot, cross 8, hold short of 12 at Charlie, Southwest 41.
And by the way, the nice thing about XATC Chatter is it's really very immersive software for X-Plane, and we are actually listening to real-world ATC from Albuquerque. And the nice thing about it uses real-world frequencies. So I'm using the Navigraph charts to tune into the real-world frequency, and you'll actually hear the relevant ATC chatter for clearance delivery, ground, tower, approach, center, all of that good stuff. And we'll do this, we'll simulate this throughout our flight today. I flew Southwest Airlines last week and I saw him load the FMC. I flew the jump
Tow
seat.
is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time.
He did not set to 18,001, he said 18,000. It was flight level 180. You have to be very accurate and patient when launching a Smart Co-Pilot session, but when it's working, oh boy, it's good. Really. All right, Captain. What I'll do is I'll download it. I know I'm not sure if it's, I think it's available for free, isn't it? But yeah, I will definitely grab it and we'll play with it, play around with it for sure. All right, so the tow is disconnected and we are ready to go. Here we're going to turn on the taxi lights. Everything else here is looking good. Put this on climb, which it is. And we're set our flaps 5 for departure. And let's do the flight control check. Let's switch to the external view for that. And we'll do this. All right, so full up, full down, full left, full right, pedal, full left, full right, and neutral. And the flight control check is complete. And we are now ready to taxi to runway 08 for departure. We're going to release the parking brake. Parking brake is released. And everything else is looking good. Perfect. All right, let's give it some power.
C4209, runway 3 via Alpha Charlie, Foxtrot, cross runway 8, hold short runway 12 at Charlie.
Just look at the beautiful texturing of the Zibo mod here. I mean, this is really payware quality. Albuquerque, someone grab me a blank screen shield burger, please. What Skymatics was talking about was the 5.7 figure in the plan section of the perf page. Oh, got you. Listen to the sounds. What a beautiful scenery by Mr. X. Yeah, this is Short Final Airport. Very, very nice. The lighting, everything is just immaculate with the Zibo.
Top of 898, cross runway 12, continue to runway 3 via Charlie Foxtrot.
Cross runway 12, continue to runway 3 via Charlie Foxtrot, southwest 898.
Stereo sounds as well on the Zibo. Very, very nice. All right. Here we go. That's Alpha 2, or I think we should go to the far end there. Well, it'll give us more runway. So we'll just go to the far end. All right. There we go, right here, and we're going to switch to tower.
Sorry, 12, continue to 3 via Charlie Foxtrot.
All right, so that's approach, clearance delivery, departure, ground control traffic, Albuquerque 120.3. All right, 120.3. 120.3 is set. Right, tower frequency is set. And lights are on. Runway turn-off lights. Strobe lights are on. Auto throttle is armed. And we are ready to go. We'll set the TCAS to TARA. Let's line up. Runway 08.
RNS Snuffy 126 left, let's take off. RNS Snuffy, Clifford taking up 26 left, Delta 19.
A little bit of precipitation here as we depart. It's a good thing that we did not derate the takeoff because we do have a contaminated runway today. All right, we are ready to go. 40%. And toga. A little bit of forward pressure on the stick. Airspeed alive.
Regard to 49 to 04, turn left.
80 knots. Check.
Left 240, but 49 4.
100 knots.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gears going up. A little bit of wind there.
$400.
VNAV. Woo! Look at that. Right, let's begin our turn. Right, flaps 1. And we are good to go LNAV. Command A is engaged. Flaps up. Auto brake off. Engine start switches to the off position. We'll put the weather on the captain's side and terrain on the first officer's side.
Heading to trajectory 35.
Right, the landing gear can go to the off position. We are approaching 10,000 feet. Landing lights can go off. Runway turn off lights are off.
3399, 1860.
And let's go ahead and release the passengers and cabin crew. Look at that wing flex.
Brickyard 3904, speed to 190. Here's the speed to 190, Brickyard 49.
Looking good.
Trajectory 35, to maintain 5,000. To maintain 5,000, trajectory 35.
Hello there, Chris. Welcome aboard. Matt Johnson, welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here. Thank you, The Art of Chill. Appreciate it, my friend.
Departure, good morning, United 211, 2,500, climbing 4,000, heading assigned 260.
All right, we are through to 13,000 feet. Looks like it's a cloudy day here in New Mexico. And rainy. The weather showed, I think we had a broken overcast at 4,000, but I wasn't sure of the, let's take a quick look here on the weather information. The METAR, obstacles, overcast at 4, yeah, a few at 13, a few overcast, yeah. All right. We can remove that and take a look now at our path here as we depart New Mexico. 15,000 for 31,000 feet. Everything is looking good. A little bit of turbulence here. Can't really see much. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do a review of Visual XP, essentially a weather generation engine that also gives you some options to change the reflections, the shadows, the cloud shape, and what have you. And based on the popular demand from all of you who have purchased the add-on, I've purchased the ultimate version of the add-on. I will be doing a review very soon on the channel. Aviation FPS is unstable for my X-Plane 12. Is it? That's strange because this this latest beta, RC3, I believe, is quite stable. If you're not a real pilot, you can't enjoy graphics in real life. Enjoy MSFS, both are great. But I would guess you don't hire someone to fly your P210. All right. We are at 18,000 feet, barrow to standard on both the captain and first officer side. You can see the terrain here. By the way, the weather, you can see the weather here. Let me switch here. Maybe we can see a little more. No, we can't. We can see some of it. But yeah, the weather radar does work on the Zibo. But you hardly can see it here. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. By the way, we never checked for discontinuities, so let's just quickly look over. Yeah, looks all right. Perfect. Okay, 19,000 and another 11,000 feet for our cruise. And here's a look at the wing view and the beautiful clouds This looks fantastic. Yeah, X-Plane is starting to look really, really good. Alrighty. So is anyone else here from Kuwait?
You're on loss 514, cross 25 right, ground point 75. Cross 25 west, ground 1
All right, so we are continuing our climb. Today I received a very pleasant message from my school friend. So my schoolmate at Fresno State back in the day, my very good friend Darren Giacomini. And what a pleasant message that he is going to be in Kuwait. He works for a company that does security work for malls and hotels. He's one of the directors in the company. So they have a large deployment in Kuwait for one of the malls in Kuwait, and he's going to be here. He's going to be here in October, so I'm quite excited about that. I've met him, I think 3 years ago in Dubai, when he went there for, again, he was on a business trip with his, he was with his wife, but he was actually on a business trip. And I had the pleasure of meeting him after about 20 years. It was very, very nice to meet him after all that time. So I'm very excited about him coming to Kuwait. Very, very excited, really. He really made my day. So, yeah. So that's some good news there. Work has been very hectic, guys, I'll tell you. I've been really stressing out lately. And yeah, I'm lagging on my my emails, on my Discord, on just a lot of things. One thing I do want to let you guys on is the Fly Lilo nonprofit organization. Of course, for those of you who don't know, I am now officially a member of the board at the Fly Lilo nonprofit organization, an organization focused at helping the disabled in our community with adaptive gaming devices. So the organization's main objective is the betterment of the lives of the disabled, and I am now a board member of the organization. So there is an event, a fundraiser event for the organization starting from the 15th until the 30th of September, and my very good friend Captain Canada is going to stream for Fly Lilo. Very, very kind of him to support. He's a fine gentleman, and he's always ready to help a great cause such as Fly Lilo. So I'm quite excited about the event, and I'm quite honored to have and very proud to have Captain Canada as part of the team. Yeah. Another thing that I kind of want to share with you guys today, or I think it was yesterday, I received one of those comments that reminded me of the period when I quit YouTube. And the nice thing is that it didn't actually bother me. And I replied to the guy in the best possible way. And yeah, I just kind of smiled and I said, okay, let's move on. And the comment is as follows. So the guy says, a word of advice, use a voice-over software because your voice makes me want to fly into the World Trade Center. Check this out. I mean, what can you reply, at somebody that says something like this? And obviously, you know, they do know where I'm from. I mean, my name tells the story, right? Yeah, Rand, exactly. Yeah. So I replied to the guy and I said, I have heeded advice from a lot of the channel subscribers. Yours I'm gonna pass, but I find your comment to be at best impolite. Thanks for watching the video. No, it doesn't, yeah, I know. Hey there, UVP Digital Signage Incorporated. How are you doing, my friend? Thanks very much, Ken. Appreciate it, my friend. Right, we're reaching top of climb. And, yeah, let's see here. Okay, so as we reach the top of climb, I am going to come down here. And we're going to go to the next page here. Let's take a look. All right, so we runway 35 left. Actually, before we do that, let's come here to. No, that's not what I wanted. All right, let's do this first. So let's come here to the approach reference, and from the approach reference, we are going to. Let's see, 108.5. So we're going to set that 108.5 and set that as the active, and 108.5 and set that as the active, and we're going to set the approach course as 353, which is already set on both sides. Perfect. All right, and we're going to also set our flaps, so flaps 30, 148 plus 5, that's 153, so 30 and 153 for our speed, and we are done. All right, perfect. One thing we can do is we can add the fix, so we can come here to the fix and add a runway 35, runway 35 left, and we can put at 352 and 10 nautical miles. There we go. And now if we go to the plan page and step through, there we go. We have our nice circle there for situational awareness, and it will help us with the speed and configuration of the flaps. Excellent. So we'll go back to the map, and we can set the heading bug to the current heading. Brilliant. And all's looking good. Thank you very much, Mike Coffee. Appreciate it. Here's a look at the outside. And this beautiful United livery. And let's go ahead and tell, kind of just to communicate with our passengers.
Lay Shaman from flight deck here. Seatbelt signs off. Gives you an opportunity to move out. Do ask on your seat though that keep those seatbelts fastened for your safety and those values. So we get closer, we'll update weather gate information. Enjoy the ride. Thank you.
All right, there is the passenger announcement. And I'll tell you guys, X-Plane keeps growing and growing on me in terms of the visuals. So I actually enjoy it quite a bit now. And if you watch the channel regularly, you'll see that the last 10 streams or videos have all been X-Plane videos. I think I've done one Microsoft flight sim in the last maybe 3 weeks, was the Fokker 28. But other than that, it's been just pretty much all X-Plane. I just really am enjoying it, guys, really, to be very honest. I think Laminar has been really improving things slowly but surely. But the sim is now in a state where I think it's very enjoyable. Some of the performance issues have been addressed, but performance tuning still got a long way to go, in my view. The clouds are not perfect, but they are definitely getting there. They're starting to look pretty nice. And overall, the sim is just looking good. Try a dogfight in VR. That should be interesting. One thing I like from the Zibo mode is that you can remove the winglets like the old 737 NG, correct? Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of configuration, a lot of things you can configure. You configure the lights, and like I explain more and more. I want to talk about it. Look. Yeah. All right, I think we can switch the... all right, so we are now here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go to... let's see. Let's go to airports, and let's go to flight. Let's go to Denver. Now, at Denver, if we look at the weather, VFR, it says... variable 04 knots, so the direction of wind is variable. 10 nautical miles, or 10 miles visibility. Few clouds, 8,000. Few at 2,200. 21 is the current temperature, and 13. 3019er. Okay, so some clouds there. Ceiling at 12,000 feet. AGL. All right, perfect. All right, so we can go to the information. We can go to the the approach control at Denver is 119.3. 119.3. All right, let's do 119.3. Oops, what did I do? Okay. My bad. 119.3. Right, we'll switch this to the active. And once we are in the vicinity of Denver approach, we'll be able to hear the radio chatter for Denver approach. Perfect. Greetings, F.O. Bob, and thank you very much, sir, for your support. I appreciate it. Hello there, Justin. Welcome aboard. Yeah, it looks like the weather is quite pleasant in Denver, Colorado today. Very pleasant temperature as well. 21 Celsius, that's very, very nice. Very pleasant. I still don't have X-Plane 12. 100% set up. Lazy, I guess. How are you doing, Mr. Martini? And welcome. Glad to have you here with us. Hello, David. That left and right continuous rolling doesn't feel really natural. Is it, or just a weird bug? I think that might be... I mean, that's natural. I don't think that it's not natural. It's very, very slight. It's not really very violent. So I think it's normal to see that sort of movement. The one I don't feel is realistic is the rocking and rolling in MSFS, which is just too much in my view. Does the Zibo aircraft give you access to the avionics and non-avionics fault list? I don't know, but we can find out, because if you go to home and you go to the failures here, so let's see, so if we go to systems, a little bit here, electrics, so no, I don't think that it gives you that. Yeah, I don't think you've got that, no. You can configure, I think, a lot of things here from the general config. But yeah, I don't think you have them in the failures. You need to look into the MCD mission computer for that. It should be under the mission computers section. Hello there, Rapscallion. Thank you very much for your support, sir. Appreciate it, and welcome. Do you get bad performance with airport lighting at night in X-Plane? You know, Chris, it's funny you mentioned this, because I sometimes get that problem and sometimes I don't. So I get very little drop in certain airports, and for example, in London Heathrow by time models, I get very slight drop in FPS. But in some of the default airports, when the lights are on, I just get like 20 FPS drop, which is strange. This must be something to do with the scenery, I suppose. Speedbird01, good evening to you, my friend. By the way, the Zibo has a very nice cabin, huh? Let's take a look here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it has a really nice cabin with the lighting and everything, and you can, during nighttime, you know, you can have those nice neon lights. It's a nice aircraft altogether. Clouds look a little bit off here. Perfect. If you set packs to auto, you will see them inside too. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember that option. Let's go to configure. Is it the visual effects? Windshield effects are on, obviously. Windshield reflection, gauges, passengers. All right, so we'll put auto. And now we can... Oops. Guys, look at the clouds there. I mean, they do look nice, I have to say. Yeah, there you go. We have some passengers now. Let's go take a look. They don't look very good, I have to say, but it kind of, you know, it's okay. It's good at least we have a few smiling passengers. So that's always a good thing. I don't really care much, by the way, for an aircraft to have a passenger cabin. From my point of view, it is not a necessary element of the simulation. You know, seeing visually, I know a lot of people are, you know, to them it's like a make or break. But in my view, you know, it's not an essential part of the simulation. It's just part of, you know, scenery. And to me, it's trivial, really. It's not a big thing, whether to have the passenger cabin modeled altogether or not. I just really care about the cockpit. This is where, you know, things happen. And so that part of the simulation is really what matters to me for the most part. They need a drink. Hey, Hector, how are you doing, my friend? It's been a while. How have you been? Immersion. Lendersey. Yeah. Yeah, it is part of the immersion. XP12 needs optimization. MSFS just gets so much better frames. Well, Bugs, MSFS gets better frames. Of course, for me, I have the 4090, so I have frame generation. And overall, it is probably a more stable sim. But just to be fair, Microsoft Flight Simulator has been, you know, has been in production for 3 years. X-Plane hasn't. It's a much younger software than Microsoft Flight Sim. So the comparison there is not really a fair one in my view. But X-Plane is definitely catching up. This version is a lot more stable than all the previous betas. So this is RC3, and I believe that RC3 is final. So Laminar is now working on 12.07, which should bring some, you know, some improvements again to the sim. Let's check quickly on. All right, so top of descent is in 79 nautical miles. We're not too far from the top of descent. Taking a quick look here at the outside, and yeah, we don't see the ortho photos yet, so we are still not close to Denver approach. And if we look here at the map, you can see, yeah, we should be able to start hearing the Denver approach on our radios pretty pretty soon. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is still not... XB12 is still not finished. It's still on beta. Yeah. So for 1206, it's beta. And hopefully good. It's sad many sceneries and planes are no longer being supported. That is actually sad, I would have to say. I would have to agree there with you, Bugs, that a lot of developers have just kind of gave up on X-Plane, which is, you know, a bit of a shame. Joa, hello, my friend. Laminar also does not have all the resources that Microsoft... That is also very, very true. Correct, yeah. 1205 is final. Yeah. All right. All's looking good here. Final check here on the overhead panel, just to make sure everything is in working order. There are no issues so far. Everything's looking good. Maybe we should start a series of flights with failures, like landing gear not working and engine fire, you know, things like that. Oh, look at that. I never knew that Zibo had this. This is a discovery for me. Landing gear manual extension. Oh, look at that. This is actually, it works. Oh, how cool. This is actually the first time I come to know that Zibo has modeled this, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, X-Plane render engine doesn't provide motion vectors, so they are unable to provide neither DLSS2, 3, nor FSR. They have to find other ways for optimization. Yeah. Tallest random failures. V1 does these all the time, and they are very educational to watch. Yeah. Correct, Rochelle. I love watching V1 do that kind of stuff. The oxygen mask also actually works. That I am aware of, yeah. So if you go here, you can check, and then you can click here. Where? Why is it not coming now? Or do you have to grab it? Normally it's located somewhere here. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, I've used the oxygen mask in the past. All right, TD is in 53 nautical miles. We are going to set our initial approach altitude. So let's go to the next page, and check this out, 7,000. That gives you an idea of how elevated Denver is. 7,000 feet is the initial approach altitude. So let's reset the MCP altitude to 7,000 feet. Right, 7,000. And let's take notice of the baro at METAR is 3016. Perfect. Hi Q8, good to see you flying the best plane in all of Flight Sim. Thank you very much, IFR Captain. Front right. Is it somewhere here? Oh, is this front right on the panel, you mean? Ah, okay, got it. Yeah, I can hear the breathing, and now I don't know how to get rid of it. Oh well. We're just gonna have to live with the breathing now. Yes, those are default X-Plane clouds. That is correct. I can't get rid of the oxygen mask now. Oh well. Okay, top of descent is coming up. Let's take a quick look at the outside. Oh, thank you very much, Mike Coffee. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch the stream while you're on vacation. Right, all looking good. Top of descent in 33 nautical miles. Flight simming is really just a great hobby, and aviation in general is a very rewarding industry to be in. There's a lot to learn, and it's very enjoyable to be able to fly in the skies. It gives you that sense of freedom when you fly, especially when you fly in a smaller airplane. I mean, when you travel, when I'm aboard a big plane, it's definitely nice. The takeoffs and landings, that's what I normally see. I sleep most of the time. It's just that so I read about it because I just can't stay awake. And for some people beyond 10,000 feet, they experience a very mild hypoxia after the plane pressurizes. And they just can't stay awake. And I'm one of those people. And that's very fortunate for a very long flight because I just can't stay awake. The minute the plane goes above 10,000 feet, like about within 200-300 feet, I just can't keep my eyes open. I'll just go into a very deep sleep. And normally the cabin crew would come to wake me up for a meal, and I would just kind of look at them and say, So yeah, I just sleep on planes, but I do enjoy. But when you're in a Dougal McTavish, hello my friend, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. But when I'm on a smaller plane, and it's just really, really very, very rewarding to fly on a smaller plane because you can feel, you can feel the air on the aircraft's airfoil. You can feel the wind rocking you to the right, to the left, and you use your yoke to correct that. It's just the feeling is just unmatched. Only issue I have with simming, I have collected a few planes, and sometimes I get rusty on planes I don't fly often. Well, that's normal, Mike Coffee. That's something that would definitely happen. And ladies and gents, we have with us today Roberto from my colleague at Fly Lilo. Welcome aboard, Roberto. Glad to have you here. Mind sharing your graphic settings with me? Also, if possible, recommending me some good Fly with Lewis scripts. All right, now we can listen. Finally, we can hear Denver approach radio. We are almost at top of descent, so right in time. I'm not using any scripts for Fly with Lua other than this one here, which is for volume control in the sim while I'm streaming. And as far as the graphic settings, they are available on my Discord. If you just go to settings and view channel, I have posted my my X-Plane 12 settings there. You can take a look.
Follow your company, cross the Zibo Boeing 5000 and clear the visual approach to Q8 Center. Maintain
and we have Paul Tull. Hello, Q8 from York, England. Oh, we have somebody from God's country. Hello, Paul. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Oh, that's what you guys were talking about today. You wanted a Discord command in the I think you've got it just now. There's the Discord command in the timer. Just click on that and it will take you to the Discord. It came right in time. Now I followed what Drashal was, I wasn't sure if it was Drashal or Alex that was asking what we need a Discord command. Now I got it. Okay, so it's something I need to do on Nightbot. Gotcha, guys. Yeah, I'm a bit slow the last couple of days because of all the stress. Been really stressed out, guys. Really, truly, very, very stressed at work. It's been absolutely hectic. And just, you know, one of the things that I'm okay with people who don't get it. I'm okay to sit and explain things, and I'm very, very patient. I like teaching people stuff. But what I don't really appreciate with, you know, a large bunch is the lack of accountability. I've been raised and disciplined to be very accountable, to be very responsible. And I just find it very difficult to deal with people that don't want to take ownership, they don't take initiative, they just, you know, blame and finger point, and that just doesn't sit well with me. And we do have a lot of that.
Johnson 3936, turn left heading 360.
All right, we are on Denver approach, and we will momentarily switch to Denver Tower once we are a bit closer to our destination. I'm going to go ahead and extend the speed brake a little bit here to bring our speed down. And it looks like there's a is it raining in Denver? That's kind of strange. But we can see that the ortho photos are coming up now. You can see that here far in the distance. Well, I guess we have somebody with us today from Denver, Colorado, so we can... hello there, Hakan. How are you doing, my friend?
Approach 3362, Scott, 5538.
Will you do 777 ops when PMDG releases? Yeah, for sure. I love the 777, one of my favorite aircraft. Auto ortho, not recommended. No, I don't use auto ortho. I know a lot of you guys have asked me to about my opinion of auto ortho. In my view, is just not worth it. That's my honest opinion on auto ortho. I still prefer Ortho 4XP and creating my own tiles as opposed to Auto Ortho. I've tried it and it works, but doesn't look very good, to be honest. One, and is it worth it to buy Explain 12 when I already bought many add-ons for MSFS? Well, that really depends, board, on what you want, what are you looking for. To me, if you see, for me, when you ask me about X-Plane, I'll always tell you that it's worth it because I think it's a great flight sim. So it really depends on what you want to do. I use both as well, and I enjoy both of them, quite frankly. Is it the same process with X-Plane 11? Pretty much, yeah. Nothing has changed there. Justin says it should be sunny with fewer clouds. Oh, really? Ah, okay. So that's probably, again, an attestation to the inaccuracy of X-Plane weather. Yeah, it looks like huge cloud cover there. So that's more than likely not accurate. If we look at the METAR here, yeah, it says so visibility is 10 miles, few at 8,000, few at 15,000, few at 22,000, and so let me come just here, and we're gonna go to the weather, and I'm gonna select yeah, so some weather there, but nothing here. So let's do flight 6,000. Nothing at 6,000. All right, let's do. We are at what is our current altitude? 22,000. All right, so 22. So yeah, as you can see here, Navigraph is not reporting any clouds in the area. So maybe some scattered clouds I can see at 8, 15, and 22. But yet in the sim, we see a lot of clouds, which is a little bit strange.
5041, 170 to take a tower there, 12075.
Yeah.
170 to take a tower there, 5041.
All right, well, we're looking good. We continue the descent. X-Plane MSFS 2020 weather questionable. Guess some things just can't be fixed. I guess so. Do you think the Navigraph subscription is worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely, without any doubt. I fully endorse and recommend Navigraph with 100% confidence. Navigraph is just great. And with the new additions, reading the operational flight plan from SimBrief, the tape here, this one, the telemetry information, with that here, as you can see, and all the charts that you get, all the updates that you get. You got the TAF, the ATIS, that's the real ATIS, by the way. Departing, arriving 35 left. Again, you have the real ATIS, so now we can see the arrival and departing runways. And we are arriving into 35 left today, so we've made the right choice of selecting 35 left today for our arrival. You've got the integration with the ATIS from Pilot Edge, IVO, FatSim. You've got all your charts updated for all the airports around the world. You've got the weather information. It's just absolutely great. It's a dream come true for flight simmers, really. And a job very well done. All right, we are at 19,000, getting closer to our transition altitude. So we're just going to go to the weather METAR 3016. All right, 30. Let's see here, 3016 is set. And we're going to do the same on the first officer's side. 3016. Let's see here. 3016. Come on. All right, 3016 is now set. And we are almost at our destination. We're descending through 18,000 for 7,000. I'm going to go ahead and switch now the frequency to Denver Tower. So we'll come here to information. And we're going to go to the comms. That's approach, clearance, operations, ramp, taxi, ground control, and tower. Tower is at 124.3. So 124.3. And now we are tuned into Denver Tower. You can see the beginning of the orthos here. Again, great work by X-Codr of Denver International, and we are going to be taking a look at the airport once we land. They've made major improvements in version 2 of Denver International, and it's a scenery that I highly recommend. Question: how do you read the METAR on Navigraph? Well, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Virtual Skycheck Top Cat is the so the METAR. So there is a site that will teach you how to do this. Maybe I'll make a tutorial on that. But if you go to here, and what will really help you is if you go to the weather information. Now this is the METAR format, okay? But it's actually decoded for you here. So if you look here, for example, this is the time that this was updated. So this is 12:18:53 Zulu. And this is the wind. So this is 0508 knot wind. But you can also see this here decoded for you. And the same thing here. So 10 miles visibility. You can see this here. The clouds, so few at 8,000, few at 15, few at 22. And that's this is decoded for you here. Then you can see the temperature, 23. And you can see that here. Dew point is the number after the temperature, which is 11, which is right here. Humidity is 42, so it gets the rest of the information for you from another source, it looks like. But and then the remark here that you have RM remark AO02. It says automated station with precipitation. Discriminator sea level pressure 1015. hourly temperature of 22.8, and dew point of 10.6. This is pretty much what this remark says here, being decoded for you. So if you do this enough times, you'll be able to understand what these different parts of the METAR mean in once decoded. You can also go to METAR TAF, which is a site that I frequently use, and it will also help you do the same thing. You're asking too much to Navigraph. Aircraft devs should provide that kind of stuff, to be honest. Yeah. I want to be able to take off shortened or variable weights and count out runway exits. Yeah, I think that is probably a little too much for what Navigraph does. And here's the auto orthos. Yeah, not auto ortho, but the ortho photos for Denver. Yeah, we are definitely getting very close to the airport. Here's our turn. All right, we can hear the Denver Tower frequency now on the radios. We'll set this to 10 nautical miles. And here's the top of descent from 13,000, so there is a restriction here. You can see the speed is decreasing. And we have about 29.9 nautical miles for the... we can see that the localizer here, IAQD, approach course 353 degrees. And the DME is about 29 nautical miles from the runway. All right, perfect. Very good.
460 with you, clear the RNAV, 27. 460 the number at 2.5 mile final, 1310.
I'm not sure about that. SimBrief has done a great development. Yeah, SimBrief is great. And the thing is, SimBrief is now owned by Navigraph. So now they've actually integrated SimBrief. The operational flight plan is something that you can load into Navigraph, which is pretty cool. Oh, I can read the METAR. I'm a real-world pilot. However, I couldn't find it on the interface. Thank you. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So, yeah, you have to go to the information on the airport, go to the information, and then from the information, go to the weather. From the weather, you'll be able to find the METAR. You'll find the real-world METAR, as well as Pilot Edge, IVO, and VATSIM, if available. All right, we are looking good. Let's put this on the legs page. 12,000. And we are looking good. All right. At this point, I'm going to do the announcement in the cabin.
3454, hold short, runway 24.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are descending. Seatbelt sign is on. If you happen to be up and about, please return your seat. Keep your seatbelt fastened for the remainder of the flight. On behalf of the flight crew, we appreciate you being with us today. Wish you a very safe and pleasant journey to your final destination. Hope to see you back here with us soon. Thank you.
All right. There we go. We're going to turn on the fasten seatbelt signs on. And we're going to ask cabin crew to prepare for landing.
2935 LA Tower, 1304, runway 24, right, clear the land, thanks for that data.
The land 24 right, Delta 935.
All right, looking good. 11,000. This is the 10 nautical mile ring that we have created. And we are now almost at our destination.
And stowed, you may continue to use your small electronic devices, but they must be unplugged and set to airplane mode and secured. As a reminder, carry-on items should be securely stowed either under the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment.
Skywest 3454.
I think the weather is looking now a lot more like Denver-like. Right, 10,000 feet. Landing lights are on. Engine selectors to continuous. And everything here looks good. Excellent. We're going to set the auto brake to 2. And we are going to engage approach. Single channel. The runway is ahead of us now. We are on the glide slope and the localizer. So I'm going to extend the speed brake a little bit.
clear to land at 24 right, goes MD21.
There is a restriction here at 9,000.
Tower up 2921, 24.
So 2921 LA Tower, wind 110 at 4, runway 24 right, clear to land.
4 right, clear land up with 2921.
Right, looking good.
So 2921, just be advised the traffic ahead 4 miles.
And we are at the 10 nautical mile range, so I'm going to go ahead and lower the landing gear.
Roger, we're at final for speed, that's 2920.
Roger.
We'll wait for 3 green. All right, 3 green, landing gear's down. We're going to go to flaps 15.
So 974 LA Tower, you ready to
Speed
go?
brake is armed.
We're ready for Delta 974.
We're looking good.
So 974, intersect your full length runway 24 left, line of way. Full length, line of way, Delta 974, thanks.
Right, just a quick reminder here of our speed, 153 knots. All right, let's go to our final approach speed, 153. Runway in sight. Speed check. Flaps 25.
3, Mars, 24 right. So 2253 LA Tower, wind 100 at tree, runway 24 right, clear to land. Turn line 24 right, that's 2253.
Right, that's 7,000. We are on the glide slope and the localizer. Lovely day here at Denver. We can see that the clouds have subsided. Speed check, flaps 30.
PS 261, heavy turn Mustang 300, join the 27 right, low flat.
Looking good.
PS 2861, heavy left turn heading 300, join the 27
We're
right,
clear
low
to
flat.
land. Runway 35 left.
Train 363, reduce speed to 170, then descend maintain 4,000. 170 to speed, then that's going to take 4,000.
1,000.
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Auto throttle disconnected. Autopilot disconnected. My aircraft. Right, and we can cycle the flight directors.
Yes, the 943, reduce speed to 170.
170, 943.
PS 2061, heavy 8 miles from Jalto, clear Alice runway 27 right approach, maintain 170 knots to Jalto.
PS 2861, heavy maintain 170 knots until Jalto cleared ILS for 27 right approach.
500.
500 feet.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
263, turn left heading 080 back to the downwind.
That was hard. Reversers are out. And welcome to Denver International Airport, ladies and gents. $80 knots.
80 knots.
And manual braking.
Turn right heading 030, be quick turn for speed.
And we are at Denver International version 2 by X-Codr. All right, perfect. Now, before we go any further, here's what we'll do. Guide, I'm really excited now to show you the airport, but let me just bring the aircraft to a stop here, and let's just quickly take a look at our landing, and hopefully won't crash. Now, if I don't have Volanta or Sim Toolkit Pro working, then I don't get any crashes with the replays. So there we go. All right, so we can go right here. Guys, look at the airport right there. Just what a beautiful sight of Denver International. All right, here we go. Those sounds are amazing. Look at that. That was lovely. Thank you very much, Roberto. Appreciate it. Mario, how are you doing, my friend? That was actually a proper landing. It was proper, yeah. It was proper, but it was, you know, it was pretty firm, I would say. Pretty firm. All right, let's do a wing view from this side here. Guys, look at this and tell me this doesn't look good. You gotta love it. Wow, look at that. Beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's do it one more time. And this time, perhaps we're going to do it from the airport view. So let's do that. And there, that's actually the tower view. But this one here, this is the view that I love this view in X-Plane. Oh, yeah. All right, perfect. We're done with the replays now. So we're back here at the aircraft. And, okay. So here's one thing I do like in SAM. So we're going to come here to SAM. And we're going to go to the main window. Then we're going to go to Arrival. From the Arrival, we're going to select Follow Me. And United is in Bravo, so let's look here if we can find Bravo. Let's see here. This is all okay. Bravo, maybe Bravo 29, and we're gonna say start guidance. Now we can have the follow me truck there, and let's go. Brakes are off. And we can retract the flaps. Here's the follow me truck waiting for us, and we can also retract the landing lights. Runway turn off lights, taxi we can leave on, engine selectors to the off position, and position lights to steady. What a lovely rendition of Denver International by X-Codr. I've always liked this airport, but this new version is actually done very, very well. Again, a very large area of ortho photos to cover the airport, the airport vicinity, again, for increased immersion and realism. So this is actually an airport that I highly recommend. And I'm not sure what this follow me truck is doing, but we're just going to follow him. And hopefully he takes us to the right spot. There we go. Let's switch to the outside. Just look at the clutter there on the airport. The texturing is just of the highest order. I also like the buildings. I'll show you the buildings once we are parked at the gate. We'll take a look at the airport facilities. But I just really like all the clutter, you know, how things are set up, the ground elements there, the gates, everything just looks fantastic, really, on this airport. Very, very nicely done by X-Codr. I think they haven't done that many airports, but the ones they've done are quite nice, I have to say. By the way, there is a United terminal here, so I'm not sure where this guy's taking us. But I believe those are the Bravo terminals. Maybe it's the other side. Well, United has a hub here, so I know they have a lot of parking positions. Guys, would you be able to, the mods, would you be able to please post the latest, the Zibo mod link? I know maybe Drishal has it. Excuse me. Maybe you can just post it there in the chat. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate it, guys. All right, here we go. That's the follow me truck taking us to the main terminal area here for United at Denver International. And we can see all the United aircraft lined up there. So I'm just going to follow the taxiway here and see where he takes us. All right, you can go, Habibi. All right, there we go. Well, thank you very much, Scott, for being here and for your support and for all the memberships that you've gifted to the Q8Pilot Channel subscribers. I appreciate it very much. That was very kind of you. Wow, look at this airport, guys. Let me zoom out a little bit here. We can still see him. Just look at the rendition. Look at the buildings there. Absolutely gorgeous texturing. And very easy on the frames, by the way. You can see a British Airways 747 parked there. The international terminal. Overall, just a lovely, lovely airport. And you can see all the cars there. So this airport has the live scenery plugin that works very well with it. And we're going to see the inside of the buildings as well. Thank you very much, Carl. All right, let me just follow this guy, see where he's going. Huge airport, Denver International. I think you can now see the again the buildings here a little better. You can just see how beautiful the texturing is, and this looks. Oh, that position is taken. So yeah, that position that we've picked is taken by another United flight. So what we'll do is perhaps this is Southwest. We're trying to find a spot here to park. There is one at the end here. We could always go there. Or what do we do? All right, let me just make a turn and go back because it seems like there are no empty spots here. So we'll just take that first one there. And then we'll bring the aircraft to a complete stop, and we'll start looking at the rest of the airport, which I think is pretty nicely done, with lots to see in just all the buildings. Just very well done airport. Highly recommended airport.
2685, weight out of 6700 for 6000.
All right, we could actually switch to ground, but that's all right. Here we are. So let's go ahead and make a final stop here at the gate.
Turn left saying 360, just maintain 3000.
360 heading down to 3000, we're at 2685.
Alrighty. And here we are. Parking brake is set. I'm getting some information there that there is some buffering. All right. So here is Denver International, and I just really want to show you first of all how detailed the buildings are. Just look at how beautiful the texturing is here. The reflections, very, very nice indeed. And you can also go to the inside, and you can see the actual buildings. So you can see the like the business class here, and you can go to the main terminal, and you can see the people there, and they actually do move, so they are animated. And they've just done this for the entire airport. You can see this guy just sat down there. Again, very, very cool. And look at that, guys. Here, I mean, this is the first floor. I think this is the, yeah, there, let me see. All right, there we go. So we can see the, I'm not in the right spot there. All right, there we go. Okay, so again, the entire interior of Denver International has been properly modeled here. And now you can see actually the people moving inside the airport terminal and dropping after they reach the second floor. But overall, just really great effort by the developer modeling Denver International to a very high degree of accuracy. And, you know, with all the details in this airport, you can see the escalator is actually moving. And that's just amazing. Hey there, Max loves A350. Welcome aboard. Considering how much details are in this airport and the fidelity of the textures and just how friendly, if FPS friendly it is, it makes it really one of the best airports available today for X-Plane 12 in my view. And in fact, let me show you just again here at the gate. You'll see, look at the detail here. You see the fan here actually moving. So very, very nice details in this airport. All around, by the way, all the terminals have those details. So if we come here to this terminal, for example, again, you can see that the full terminal is modeled with all the shops and people moving around. Just really makes for a just beautiful, beautiful airport. Now, also, if you go to the parking area here, you'll find that you have, you see those cars actually driving and parking, which is pretty cool. You can see this as well here at the upper part. So, where is it? There was a... there was a part where the people were actually walking to the terminal. But you can see how lively this airport is everywhere you look, whether you look at the inside the terminal or you look in the parking lot. You can see the cars movement here, which is, pretty believable, I would say. So very, very reasonable in terms of immersion and realism. Looks really, really, really nice. This is LST. That is correct, Rashal. It is LST, and it works very, very well with Denver International. Overall, I just really love this airport. I think it is very well done. You can also see the large orthophoto coverage that the developer has integrated with the airport. And this is something I really care about a lot from the developers, because look, this is the vicinity where you're coming to land, and this is the area I care about the most, because at 30 to 40,000 feet with clouds, you don't really care about, what you see underneath. But as you get closer to the ground and closer to your destination, you really want to see, those ortho photos. And this just creates for just beautiful, beautiful rendition of Denver International. Again, the entire airport has been modeled very, very carefully. And again, very nice attention to detail. I love the clutter and how everything is placed to, again, give this aircraft a very realistic look. Again, a look very quickly here at the actual buildings. They look just fantastic. And you can see the reflection of the windows done so well to make the aircraft just, more believable and more authentic and more enjoyable, obviously. You can also see the clutter and the dirt on the ground textures there, very nicely done by X-Codr. Overall, beautiful rendition of Denver International, an airport that I highly recommend. One thing remaining for us to see is how this airport looks during different times of the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to a little... There you go. You can see the beautiful lighting now appearing. You can see all the cars there in the parking lot. And if we make it even a little darker, then you can start seeing this. And by the way, this also affects the interior of the airport. So you can see actually the lights inside the airport. And as you change the time, you'll see the illumination of more lights inside the terminal and inside the buildings. Look at this here. Again, it looks really, really cool. And then we can do pitch dark, and you'll see again the lights, the lighting inside the terminals, and you can see it all over the airport. If you move here to the look at the taxi, the taxiways, the taxi lights, the signage here. Oh, the lighting is just phenomenal. Very, very nice. You can see it here. Very nice illumination, very realistic, very believable, and doesn't affect FPS. Yeah, so FPS is, what are we getting now? We're getting 40, 41, 43, 45 FPS right now with the, with the night lighting on at Denver. So this is one of the good airports where even during nighttime, you will not get a drop of FPS. Overall, I would give this airport a 10 out of 10 mark. They just tick every box. The buildings, the ground textures, the lighting, the animations, the authenticity, everything's just done so well in Denver International version 2 by X-Codr. And it makes for a very beautiful approach. If you're flying in the US, this is definitely one destination you should fly into or out of, because it's just beautiful in my view. Looks just fantastic. Well, this pretty much brings us to the conclusion of our stream this evening. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. If you have any questions, as usual, please do post them in the video description below. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.